confirm. I tend to be a time optimist, okay? And it's a thing I'm working on. It's a thing I'm working on to become better, you know, to keep the times, you know, and so on, and be specific with it. And I planned the last session we did that it's going to be, you know, 1 or 2. But instead we have then been breaking it down into 3, and I hope that's fine. And what I understood from last session, I got a lot of positive feedback. So I hope you were happy with the last session, the guys that were on it. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. If you haven't been on the last session and you haven't listened through it afterwards and really listened, you need to do it after this session, because this session will be worthless otherwise. Okay? Can we agree on that? Thumbs up if you can agree on that. Because it's very simple reason for it, guys. Everything in life have a starting point and it has a direction. And if you don't have a foundation where we work from in any kind of business, and honestly, to straight out on the table, I've been running a lot of businesses in my life, everything from, you know, real estate to this and that. And I don't claim to be a specialist on those businesses. I do it out of passion. And actually the best what I am in there is real estate and production, you know, material, you know, and these kind of things. It's been something that's been working very well for me. But if I want to tell you which business that I'm most secure in, it's networking. Okay? By far, okay? Why? Because it is, in my opinion, the most simple business we can work with. Okay? The most simple business we can work with. Why then the people don't, you know, succeed? We spoke about that last time also, and that's why it is so important to really listen into the first chapter we had, the first session, because everything builds on those elements. Everything builds on the elements, understanding how learning works. Let's repeat a little bit from the last session. People don't know that they don't know. We present them a business. Okay? They don't know that they don't know. So what makes a person react in a certain way? You know, if we don't know anything about what we are being presented, what do we react upon? Correct, the subconscious mind. The program, like I call it. Why do I call it the program? Because when we know that we can work on it. Okay? And if we repeat from the last session again, how do we work on it? Number 1, repetition, correct? And emotional involvement. Okay? So if we know how learning processes start, and if we know that a person we present to can react in a very positive way, or a negative way, or a confusing way, and we know that it's based on the subconscious mind, the program, we are very blessed upon that we can actually also react, okay? Take action towards the reaction we get. So we can actually steer conversations and steer results with understanding, okay? So instead of having, you know, a person said, oh, I don't believe in that, you know, it's a pyramid, and so on. We don't start fighting with that person. We reason in a way that we know that needs to be reasoned with, on a way that that person can understand. Do you follow me? Thumbs up if you follow me what I mean. So it's all about actually becoming a great leader and networker. It's very simple things. It's repetitions. It's understanding how to work, okay? What to work on, and tracking results, okay? And honestly, I want to thank again Saleh for, you know, he was at my house, as I said in the last session, and we were speaking about these things, and he's just looking at me and hey man, you need to actually do sessions on this. And this is the problem with many of us networkers that been in the industry for a long time. For example, Frank, you know, been forever. I see her forever. He sits next to me and hacks away on the computer. And I want to mention that also. Why is Frank so good at what he does? Okay? Because he has programmed himself to be in a certain way. So he grabs the problem, the before solution, and start hacking away on it. He do not leave things to tomorrow that he can do now. It was very typical again, you know, here that he said that I asked him, what time do you want to go to the airport? He said 8 p.m. He has a lot to do before he jumps on the flight. And I know Frank by now, you know, yes, he has his vacations. Yes, he has his, you know, free time, you know, where he spends on, you know, the things that maybe doesn't relate directly to work. But you know what, guys? I also know that free time for Frank became uncomfortable. It is not no longer, that's what I spoke about the last session we had, that I used to be a different person totally when I got into network marketing. The things that were very uncomfortable then, like speaking, like we're doing right now, became comfortable. The things that was comfortable in the last session we spoke about, for me, taking it easy, you know, relaxing, you know, doing the easy things, you know, so on, became uncomfortable. Not being busy today is uncomfortable. Okay? So we create our habits, just as a repetition from the last session. Now I want to bring up, I am pretty sure that you guys been seeing either a 48-second video that's been circulating with me speaking on the Bangkok event, or closer to 3 minutes. Is that correct? One of them speaks about me realizing after law school, okay, my mom was bribing me basically through school, and I was focusing on passing. I want to take a moment on reflecting on that. Okay, why? Because I always tell you guys straight from what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I do not tweak, you know, my words too much. I'm not so politically correct. Sometimes Frank bangs me with a baseball bat there also, rolling on the stage, you know, maybe swearing too much, you know, behaving in a certain way. But at the same time, I'm aiming and doing my best. I don't like the word try, because trying is not enough. Doing your best is enough. Okay? It's a different thing. How do you try to do something? You can't try to lift a glass, either you do it or not. I do my best to work on becoming better. Okay? And how do we work with becoming better? Working on our weaknesses. Okay? Working, because it's no reason for you to work on what you're the best of. You're better than the most in it, you know. But maybe something else that you haven't worked on destroys the whole thing. Okay? And this is something that hit me so hard. And I'm going to tell you the story before I get into today's specific content we're going to, you know, go through. And actually these sessions that we do, and just so you get it right, is that it is not only technical things. I'm trying to get my thinking, how I think about things, with keys that I can give you, that maybe you can find something that you relate to. Okay? Because if I can find something that you relate to and it helps you in a certain way, my job has worked. Okay? Because I see you upon being a leader, and specifically, I'm not speaking now about a company, but also for a company, but these sessions are for networkers. Okay? For you as a networker, your aim should always be to work more on yourself than your business. Why? Because you are your business. Does that make sense? Because if you can't give value enough to your organization, why would they follow you? Why would they follow a person that can't provide value for them? You agree? Is that something we can agree on? That is key. So when I was sitting and cutting these small, because I got this like, aha, because we know that people do not want to listen to videos that are 3 hours long, correct? Especially educational videos. And I'm going to tell you why. It goes back to the 48-second video that was cut. If you haven't seen it, ask somebody or look in the group. I think I posted it there. Because what does it say? It says the following. I was not interested to go to school. Okay? My mom was bribing me basically to get me to results because I liked what I could do with the trading token, currency, or money. I've never been a materialist, believe me, but I have always liked what I can do with money. Money is not good or bad. It makes you more of what you are already. That's my true belief of how it is. So back to that. So I passed the limit she set for me to hand over the reward. Okay? So she said, Stefan, you need to hit 4.3 out of 5 in the grades in school. It was a great challenge, but the reward was equivalent to most probably today 20,000 euros. That's what the second time she bribed me. The first time was what is called the first 9 years, and you graduate and you go, to the next level, and that was 10,000 euros. And she set the limit. The first 9 years when I graduated, I had a 7 point something, 1 average score, when the 9th year started, the final year. And when I graduated, 8.4, if I remember correctly, 8.4 something. And the limit was exactly to get 8.3, 8.4. And she handed me the reward. Again, I went into marketing, school and the business school. I needed to pass with, if I remember correctly, 4.3. I passed it 4.45. Just over the limit. And guys, it was the same in law school. I worked a shitload because I always liked, not to eat the pasta with some ketchup on that the rest of the students were eating because the month was too long for the money. Okay? So I worked and I had good income, equivalent probably to, 5,000 euro, 6,000, 7,000 euro today, maybe. Back in those days already, it was like, let me count. It was about 4,000 or 5,000 euros then, in those money. So today, yeah, a lot more, maybe 15, 20 even, yeah. And then I, graduated from law school, and this is the point. I passed, okay? I passed law school. And then I'm sitting and reflecting later on, and then I'm sitting and cutting the video because I like to listen to what I'm releasing, okay? If it's something that is in what I'm speaking, I don't like to release it because maybe it is something that, I didn't think, properly, about it. Maybe it was something that I had a wrong understanding about and shouldn't, be out on a video. It's not about hiding things. It's about more getting the correct facts out for people to listen and learn. You agree with me? So sometimes, you say something, oh, no, it wasn't like that. So why would you leave it in a video? So I'm listening through this section and it says like, oh, then I'm starting to think that, why do you focus about, passing? Passing something. Is it really about passing? Or is it a better way? What about trying to become the best of who you can be? And then it goes up, my light in my head goes up, when I'm cutting this video that, yes, I've been aware about it, but this was for me today's lesson. So if I'm posting a video online, it's because I find it interesting. Okay? I find it interesting for that. If it has a value to me, maybe, just maybe, it has a value to some of my surrounding friends, business partners, networkers, leaders, or even anybody that just happens to listen to it. And that key, only that key, and combined with the session number 1 that we did last, Saturday, I say, holy shit, guys. If you think about it, really think about it, what would have happened? I'll give you an example. Let's say that you were 6, 7 years old and you went to school. Maybe you were 20 or 26 when you graduated. What would have happened if you knew that, or if your focus was to become the best you ever could, to strive for excellence in what drives you? Do you agree with me that those 20 years wouldn't have been 20 to get to the same level? Is that something we can agree on? I think so. Thumbs up if you can agree on that you could have come to the same level in less time. And that's what I realized. And I was thinking, would 10 have been enough? Most probably, especially for me, because I'm learning very fast and I'm interested. What about 7 years, 5? And then it hits me. What about my kids? Okay. I may need to make sure that my kids gets this as early as possible. And then it hits me. I need to make sure that the leadership of Amplivo gets this. I need to make sure that my surrounding gets this. Because for me, this is one of the most valuable keys you can ever have. Because how can you serve? Because in my true belief, and I am 100% sure that Frank is backing it up, any successful networker would back it up, any successful leader would back it up, you will never, ever get a long-term sustainable result that is bigger than the value you are able to give for your team. Is that something that makes sense? For me, it does. Now, I want you to always be honest with yourself, because I recorded the last session and I posted it hidden. And I asked some people, did you listen to it? They said, yeah, I listened to it. It's great. You know, I said, really? Did you listen to it? Yeah, it was great. And then I said, you know, really? You don't need to, you know, to tell me what is the truth. But I want you to be honest with yourself. Did you really do that? Because, why do I say that? It's not to make the person I was speaking with feeling uncomfortable. Yeah, in a way it is. But it's about facts and truth. Because it's same with the blockchain we are working with, you know. Many people tend to hook themselves up on now that, oh, we have a 1-year company, hardly that on the market, and we have some failures behind us. Guys, it's not the failures that are, you know, going to determine where we go. It is the intention. It is the value creation that we together, with you as leaders in the organization, is able to do for the surrounding. Okay? If you think about it, that is long-term sustainability. And as long as you as a leader, and as long as I, myself as a leader, Frank as a leader, anybody that is involved, you know, here, strives towards like excellence of being able to serve the surrounding, provide value. And if you are aware of it, when we are aware of it, guys, it becomes really, really powerful. Okay? Now, back to, you know, this about to listen, you know, and, you know, there's something cool with YouTube because it has something that is called analytics. Okay? Analytics. You know what those analytics tells me from videos that I post? If it got 100 views, 300 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, it doesn't really matter. It matters a bit about the length. I'll give you an example, and this will probably shock you, or then not. If the video is less than a minute long, the retention almost to the end, retention means how many people stays listening, okay? About 40%. If the video is really good, okay? If it is 3 minutes, we're dropping down to 30% that listens through. You know what it was on the recording of the first session? Somebody want to put up the hands and give a sign about, if you have a paper in front of you, write what you believe is the percentage that listen to that video all the way through. If somebody has a paper, put it up, please. I'm going to take a look at what we have here. Okay, I'm gonna look at the screens. Take a guess. Can I see? I'm gonna. There is some. Oh, there is some that is really, really cool. You know, one of you guys was right here. Anna Paula over there. 6%. 6%, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I say this? It's not about, honestly, I don't care if it's 6% personally for myself or if it's 60 or 90. But do you know why I care to mention it? There is a very, this we're going to write up together because it has to do with today's session, because we're going to go into details soon. One thing, a leadership principle, and I think Frank is going to most probably laugh how correct I am here. I don't think I've seen me write it before. I call it inspect what we expect. Study your expectations. It comes that. So what does this mean? No volume equals no story being told. And the other way, volume means the story being told. And also, can I track my business? This is what we're going to speak about today. How do you track a network marketing business so you can be in time to reach your goals? We're going to speak about goal setting first. We're going to break it down. I'm going to show you exactly how it's done, in my opinion. There are other opinions. You know, people go on and on about, you know, how to set goals. I like a very specific way, and that is mathematical. Because if you think about it, if we as leaders, your goal, my question to you, when the rain comes, you know, when it's no dance on roses, you know, when there is problems, you know, the before solutions we spoke about, that only before solution changed my life. Why? Because instead of feeling negative about going outside the comfort zone, okay, I started being curious, okay? I changed my mind of what people react negatively. Oh, there is a problem, and we start analyzing it, being excited of being able to solve it, because it's only a before solution, okay? So if you're looking at you then with your goals that we're going to specify today, I'm going to give you a goal setting 5 minutes here because Frank is leaving soon. I want you to set a very realistic goal, okay, for 1 year from now. 360 days, because we're going to work. This is a work group today. And I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to reach it. Exactly. And I'm going to give you also exact way of inspecting it. Finding out, am I behind? Am I in time? Why is this so important? Because do you think you will quit if you are in time? If you have a plan that shows you that today, me, Katja, Cecilia, Jean-Luc, Pierre-André, I am in time to reach my 360 days goal. That is what? The 29th. Actually, that seems we have an extra year, extra day this year. So let's put it on the 28th of Feb 2021. And these are the things that I think is so important, because if you don't have it, your organization won't have a goal. So I want you to be honest with yourself, because it's really ridiculous to put a goal that is so huge that you never even had a tenth of it. Frank, I'm going to say goodbye here.
Bye, everyone. All right, I'm on my way home.
Yes, and we will soon boost. And this guy, the mountain.
Just bringing a little bit of Corona with me, all right?
I gave him some Leo virus. That's a beer here in Thailand. Give me a 2 minutes. I'm going to let Frank out. And you write down what is your goal that you will earn monthly on the 13th month from this date and a month forward, 2021. And we will go straight into breaking it down. You can do it yourself and you will know exactly what to do. Is that fair? Perfect. 5 minutes. Okay, I'll let Frank go. So I'm going to specify it even more for you because we're going to do an exercise instead, because I don't think that you know what you want. Okay? Because this is the thing with people. Do you want me to give you a key for finding out what people really want? Would that be cool? Okay? I'm going to give you a key that has helped me and that has helped me over the years put my own goals until I no longer need a lot of time to know what I want. Okay? I do an exercise almost daily, about 10 minutes in the evening before I go to sleep. And I want you guys to do that the next 10 minutes. And please, guys, do it, because this will be the real key. Sit down in a comfortable chair. Okay, put your hands on your knees, close your eyes, and envision your perfect day. Why is this so important? Because if you don't know what your perfect day is, you don't know what you really want. Okay, because people think they want money, but you can't put a goal of, okay, I want 10,000 euro a month. Why do you put the 10,000 euro a month if you don't know what you really want? So it always starts with designing your perfect day. How does it look? I want you to really think about it. Where do you wake up? Where do you wake up? How is the bed? How is the bedroom? How is the house you're waking up in? How's the kitchen? Where is it located? What kind of weather is it? Who is with you? What is it, a car you have there? Do you have a helicopter? Do you stay on a golf course, on a beach, on a mountain? Whatever you want. Because people don't want the same, guys. They don't. You might think that everybody wants a BMW just because you drive one, but they don't. And if you can't find out what you want, I can give you all the tools today how to break down your goals into smallest action that you can track. But if you don't know what you want, you have no fuel to put in. Why would I bother? First little small, thing that happens and you're going to be off track. This is the reason. I want to give you now as the first small break, go and get your coffee, go and do whatever, go to the toilet, but use at least 5 minutes of that time to, if you never did it before, practice it daily. Before you go to sleep, put on some nice music, no words, something nice, sit in a comfortable place, give yourself some time to design what you really want. Because really, guys, you can. In the year of 2001, I wrote down for the first time in my life, I started network marketing in the year 2000. I didn't bother. In 2001, once I failed immensely, when I was determined, I'm really going to do it. I'm prepared to put in the time to learn how it's done, to listen, what I need to know and need to do. I committed to my upline sponsor and so on. Everything I wrote down on that paper, I put it on the refrigerator. I remember very well, I was living in Finland, in Turku, in Åbo. Humaliston katu 8A, which is Humalisto Gatan or something like that, you know, in Swedish. 8A, 8th floor, small 1-bedroom apartment. On the refrigerator, I had these goals. And I had a picture also there, which was one of the goals. It was a yacht and the skyline behind, and it read on it, the power of being independent. Every single thing that I wrote on that first list, my first goals I ever put in my life, I achieved. The house on the beach, the income, the cars, the boats, the traveling, anything I put on that list and put a price tag on it, I achieved. And I don't think it's coincidence. I truly don't think it's coincidence, because I was imprinting it into my head. Of course, my goals got bigger, but that's not the point. You can always change course, adjust, but you need to have a fuel. And I'm the person that speaks the most about, you know, that it's not only about the, you know, the why, no, the how. But still, the why is the fuel that's going to drive the engine of Amplivo, the engine of you, okay, what you become. And the why needs to be there, because it's not always nice and fun and happy-go-lucky. No, it's not. And that is what leadership is about. It's about that in the hard situations, being able to let this be in charge. If this is not at the right place, the hard situation comes, guys, we are franked, okay? And sometimes I get very, you know, emotional about when I see close friends to me that I said, oh, I thought they were on a higher level, but they're not, okay? So that is what we as leaders, we must first do in order to show somebody to do it. So take now, we're going to take a 10-minute break, okay? 10-minute break, and then we get back to, and you need to have, otherwise you can just log out. If you don't have a number, doesn't make sense. Then you can just skip the rest. And once you have, you know, got your number in place, really listen. Because otherwise you can't participate. And if I can't get you emotionally and repetitionally involved, you won't succeed. You will maybe get something, but my question to you is the following. Is it really enough to pass? Is it really enough to pass? I know that for many on this call, it's not. I know Jean-Luc that is sitting there and thinking heavily right now. I see it. He's thinking. And I see Per-André. Guys like Per-André and Jean-Luc, and many of you guys on this call, is just an example because they happen to be visible for me. It's not enough to pass. Okay? And for me, it's never enough to pass. Why? Because if I am thinking in a passing way only, I'm not the right guy to even have this call. We need to be self-critical. We need to be inspecting ourselves and be realistic on how we see ourselves. Because if we are not realistic about how we see ourselves, self-critical, not self-negative, constructive critic that can build us up, we cannot grow. Okay? And the lessons will get harder. So take that break. 10 minutes from now, we will start. It's 8:06 here, which is for you 2:06, I guess. So we go back to 20 CET. 14 minutes, guys. See you soon after the break, and we go into specifics. Thank you for listening in so far. Okay, guys, let's continue. I hope your break was as good as mine. I got a phone call. I hardly got out of it. Now, I assume that you have put a goal. And this is so important for new people also. I'm going to use a new person as an example for the whole training that we do today. Why? Because that's who we work with. If you have an organization already, if you are a one-star, which you are when you are on this call, hopefully, we have nobody that is not a one-star. If not specifically invited by me, there is one or two that are networkers already and are joining the business. It's the same, because when we set goals, first of all, this is my way of doing it. There are a little bit different ones with the SMART principle. A very specific goal, okay? Why does it need to be specific? Because it can't be in round figures. Oh, approximately, because we can't then measure it. It needs to be a goal that is highly, highly measurable. So it can't be, as an example, you ask somebody, oh, what's your goal? Oh, to get rich. Okay? It needs to be very measurable. Some people say to me, oh, of course, it's easy. I want to get money. And I take 20 baht and say, okay, here, that money. You satisfied? No. Okay. So what do you really want? It needs to be achievable. Okay? Very important. It cannot be something that, is, I want to get €1 billion, a minute. Within a month with Amplivo. That's not, unfortunately, achievable. Okay? Risk involved. I'm going to give you a story for this that is pretty hilarious. It's from my own experience. It has nothing to do with money, but it had to do with weight. Okay? This is back in the days when I networked in my first run in network marketing. It was a product-based company. I really, really saluted for the leadership there, because they knew what they were doing. It was very systemized. They were teaching about system. They were teaching about what I'm giving you. Not all. I learned a lot along the years, hopefully, that I hope can be, and I wish can be of, value for you and give you keys. But these kind of things I learned already then at the time. It's not enough that we put that, hey, with the Amplivo business, I want to, I want to reach, 10,000 euros a week. That's my goal. When is the question? When do you want to reach it? Because if you don't know when, we can't make a plan. It is not specific enough. And I'm going to go back to the risk that had to do with weight, because this was, I think it was about 2 years down the road. I don't remember exactly. And it was 2 months. It was almost the same time as now. Oh, a little bit before. It was 8 weeks before 1st of May. And me stupidly was standing on an event, and it was another leader, with me on the stage, and we both had gained a little bit of network, stomach. Sitting too much in the restaurant, eating too much food, traveling too much, and all of these. So I don't know how we came to it, but we made a bet on the stage, okay? That him and me, we were going to lose a specific amount of weight before the 1st of May, okay? And I was 96 kilo at that time, and my specific goal was to drop from 96 to 85. No, sorry, 86, 10 kilos. No, it was 6 weeks, sorry. 6 weeks, 10 kilos. And if I remember correct, his goal was pretty similar, percentage-wise of what he was weighing. So we had the bet, and everything, and it would have been easy to, to bet on money. But it wouldn't have been really risky. Because money maybe for you, but for me isn't the triggering factor, 10,000 euros or 20,000 euros. Because you can make more and it doesn't really hurt, Okay? In order for us to really get things done, in my opinion, it needs to also be involved something that we want to avoid. We shouldn't focus on it because then we get it, as we learned in the first session. But it should be some kind of, hey, you didn't do it because you didn't put in the time, you didn't put in the effort, therefore it should hurt a bit. Okay? So the risk was the following, and I hope I don't offend anybody, on this call. It has nothing to do with religion, but it has to do with kind of something that I'm not a true believer of communism, okay? I'm not a true believer of pure socialism. Don't get me wrong, I believe in welfare, I believe in there should be something to fall back on. But I do not believe in systems that corrects people and take away from people that are successful just to give to lazy people, okay? So don't get me wrong. I do believe in helping the underprivileged. I do believe in giving. I do believe in welfare in the right ways. But I don't believe in a society that you achieve this, we pull you back. You achieve this, we pull you back. And the reason is very simple, because especially today in today's world, it is no longer only about the school, that the kids go to. They have internet. They learn as much, if not more, on the side of school that they do in school. And that is the trigger of exactly what I'm saying, because even if you give people the same thing, they do not end up in the same place, because they have different kind of things that drives them. So the risk was for us that the one of us that loses, or if any of us loses, or both loses, and we don't do it, we would participate in the communist, march on 1st of May. And I didn't want to do that, So that was driving me. Now, I ain't going to do that, and I actually wait on a very, very strict eating pattern for those 6 weeks. And believe me, it wasn't fun, because the only thing I was eating was salad and fish. Okay? Salad and fish. Now somebody asked me, but what about, this and that, No, salad and fish. Okay? What about the sauce, vinaigrette? No, salad and fish. So it was very, very strict, and I actually dropped down to 83 kilos, just by doing it, because of my commitment to myself, but also standing on the stage and announcing what I was going to do. Okay? So that's why I always say that you need to let somebody know about your intentions, what you want to achieve, especially your sponsor, your mentor. You should tell, hey, this is what I want to achieve. And you should shout it out loud. And this is what I'm going to do, when I reach it. And this is my goal. And I'm going to celebrate in this following way. And the risk might be as simple as that you book already the party. And if you don't do it, you can't afford it. You understand my principle? So it needs to be something that keeps you in the game, something emotional. That's my personal, And then we have another thing that is very important before we go into really analyzing and breaking down. And that is the following principle of network marketing. We need to know the industry. What is the vehicle? Because in our case, the vehicle in this training is what? Achievable. But it can be any company, it can be any way of achieving, but in this specific training, it's network marketing, and it is compensation plan of network marketing that brings us the result. And we have something in network marketing that is called the lowest average. Okay? What is the lowest average? This goes very much hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen, what we spoke about last time also. The learning curve. We don't know that we don't know. We know that we don't know. We know that we know. And we don't know that we know. Lowest average is what a person achieves in average in network marketing if he or she do it in a continuous way. Okay? It does not mean, because I'm going to take 10% over here, lowest average of 10%. It doesn't mean that if you do 10 presentations in the totally wrong way that that you get one to sign up. Okay? Unfortunately not. or fortunately, I would say. It means that if you follow some kind of principles and you do a presentation that is done so the person can understand what it's all about and it makes sense, you're going to have a lowest average of 10%. And you know, guys, that's pretty cool. You know why? Because if we know that the 4 principles of learning goes from 1 to 4, and I think you're going to agree with me then that if you practice, you get better at it, correct? If you try to learn, you know, how it works, how to present, you know, the business, how to support your team, your results gets better. But we're going to use this for the specifics of that. This is facts from 100 years of business. Okay. And also it was pretty cool when somebody here noticed to get to the 6%, because it's very close to numbers of the success. The most successful ones that becomes really successful is 5%. Okay. So it goes with listening through the video, even that I can bet you that it was already successful people listening through it. Not maybe in network marketing, but in anything that they did before, they were probably pretty successful. Because I can tell you that when I'm looking at Frank, for an example, is very good in what he do. You know, it's just looking at him, he always does what it takes. He knows that he needs to get things done and he gets them done. He wouldn't say, oh, I'm a little bit tired, I'm going to go to sleep, I'll do tomorrow. No, he gets it done before the deadline. And that is what it's all about. So if you now know this and we now have a target, now we're going to go into specifically how to set a target. And I truly believe that you need to not only do a 90-day plan. A lot of people speak about the 90-day plan, correct? And they speak about this and that and so on. But then when you ask them why a 90-day plan, they really maybe don't know why. And I'm going to go into why a 90-day plan. It has to do with actually the learning pattern again. It has to do with how I will show you to work if you want to get duplication going fast. Some people, they tell me like this. They say, oh, you know, but I'm working, but nobody in my organization is working. And then we start studying what they do. And it's usually for a very simple reason that there is no duplication. It is very small, specific things that could be adjusted, and then it would work. And then you would get the duplication. And I will go through that also. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down what we say a 4 90-day plans. Okay? Why 4 90-day plans? Because of the question that you can ask people to get them committed to the business. Would it be good if you have a key to get a person committed? I gave you a key to find out what they want. Now, do you agree with me that if you have a day job or the person has a day job and so on, they've been on it for 10 years, 15 years or whatever, why would it be even reasonable to get something more with 1 year of studying an industry like network marketing? But what wouldn't it be cool, on the other hand, that if you take 3 hours a day, set aside, on the side, as a side business, wouldn't it be cool to surpass and have a higher income from your plan B after a year with 3 hours a day, instead of 20 years in something before that is required for you to go 8 o'clock in the morning to the job until 5? Is that reasonable? In my world, it is. So if you can gain time freedom in a year, that is why I always use a year, because 90 days is too short. Okay? So we're going to break it down on that. And what is it that you need to be? Okay? You need to be the mentor for the person that you are taking care of. Like we spoke in the video before, you need to be a harbor, a safe harbor in a stormy sea. So the person can rely on you. The person knows that you are the personal trainer that is there and make sure to kick you up when it feels bad. Where you have a commitment to cry and laugh together for the year to come. Okay? When you get a person committed like that, then they give you the permission to kick their ass, to keep them moving, You have one of the 5 people that you need to have to work with to become really successful in network marketing. And it doesn't mean that you need to have 5 front lines. You know, I used to work with binaries. They could be wherever in the organization, but I never work with more than 5 directly, ever. I can have more people around, but 5 I'm focusing on. Why? And it's always the best 5. So when I'm speaking with a person, you know, that wants me to coach, I'm saying, you know, I don't think you want me to coach you. Yeah, I really want you to coach. I say, I don't think you want me to coach you because I'm going to be very hard. I'm going to tell you things that you maybe don't want to hear and so on. So choose who you work with. Be specific that what are your goals, and leave the 80% that are not very, you know, committed to, you know, do on their own page and so on, but find your key people, okay? And learn to earn I right here, you know, and be self-critical and practice, okay? And that is a wrap up of the session before. Now, what's the target of the 360 plan? I written down here. The target is to get a business, to build a business for you, for me, for whoever does it, that works. A business that you don't gamble with. A business that is specific. A business that you can track based on mathematics and so on. Now, when you set this goal, we work backwards towards today. Guys, this is so interesting, key, because most people, when you tell them make a plan, they don't know where to start. Honestly, we need to remember we're working with normal people that have a day job. They went to school. Every time in their life, somebody made the plan for them, correct? So we need to show them how to do it, okay? You need to work with a name list, and I'm coming to that. This is a wrap up of what I will show you. It is not enough to have them on Facebook. It is not enough to have them in the phone. Why? Because it needs to be specific. And actually, I don't know if we have Anek on the call. Anek is a new networker that I started up. He never really got successful in network marketing before. And I did kind of this session with him. Okay. And I said to him, minimum 100 names. Okay. But then I explained to him, if you want to be sure and not gamble with your business, you need to have 270 names. Why? It comes to the 3 presentations a day. 3 meetings a day brings freedom our way. Why 3, not 4, not 2? Because 2 is too few to put momentum into your business, if you're serious about your business, and 4 is too much to duplicate. 3, it's something that all of these 5 people that you will find during the year to work with, and that will become your future generals, your future leaders of your network marketing imperium, they can do it from day number 1. Because I truly believe that network marketing, and to become really successful in network marketing, doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are, guys. You can take anybody with the commitment and the hunger to become good, okay? And teach them the rest. And that I did several times in my career. I took the worst example that people said, this guy, this girl can never make it, and I showed them wrong, okay? Because it comes from repetition and emotional involvement. Once I was coaching a guy, I want to mention it, that was stuttering. When he went up, he couldn't speak normally. Everybody said, nah, this guy can never make it. And he became a top network. He stopped to stutter. He got a self-confidence, started dressing differently, walking differently, became a leader because he really wanted it and he was prepared to put in the time. So, and never ever forget that everything and all duplicates. Everything. And never do the business presentation for your own prospects. We're going to speak about this also. I'm going to show you what kind of system I always worked with, and that I truly believe we should work with. I have specific namings of the functions in it that I will show you. You don't need to have that, but you need to get the principle of how I think and what it's all about. And why? Why do we not present for people ourselves? Because it is simply not duplicatable. You can't duplicate it. If I call my leaders, you know, that I had in a network and I want to start them, of course I can do it myself. It's fast. I get 10 signups and so on. But think in a long term, maybe your leaders can do the same. Maybe their leaders can do the same. But you know what? A new person can't. So why would you do anything that can't be duplicatable? And we're going to come into this when I explain to you how I work. How I always worked, that worked for me. And the first time when not when I started network marketing, but when I committed to do what it takes, since that I always followed it. And in 18 months since I started working in that way, okay, I had, wait, no, 70, about 72 or was it 78,000 active people in the network from zero, okay? Only by working specifics. And there are certain things that we need to remember. And this is not my mentioning. If you go to an Amway meeting, okay? If you go to a Unicity meeting, the companies on the market that's been there soon forever, especially Amway, you will see that I am correct. The reason for them being there is not the products they have. The reason is that they work in a very, very, very systematic way, okay? And they do these business planning sessions and they work. And the first thing you're going to learn in a leadership training, two things, is throw up rule. Okay, there, you, a shield, this is your organization because it's your business. You're going to learn that your people on your first line, A, B, C, D, or whatever, also there. You should shield them and all shit goes up. Never complain downwards because shit runs down all the way. You can scream to the upline, you can scream to me, I'm not happy about this and that. But on top of that, the most important thing in any business, they say, is tickets. Okay? Why tickets? Why tickets? I'm going to show you today that you can build a network marketing imperium only to know how to work with tickets. Okay? Why tickets? You can equal this one with functions. Because if you don't agree with me today, you will at some point in your network marketing career agree with me. If you don't have people on events, your business doesn't grow. Period. Okay? You can also measure your business straight up from how many people is on events. Okay? And that is what we're going to use today. We're going to use the lowest average. Okay? And we're going to use events. Okay? And I'm going to teach you how to track your business from how many people sits on the functions. Does that make sense? Because you know that if you have one person sitting on an event, 10 people, believe me, in most organizations, the lowest average is the highest average, okay, on events. It's usually no more than 10%. You have a very solid business if you have 10% sitting on events of your whole organization. We have had a little bit higher, but I believe that that is because of the cost-driven thing we have, okay? So it commits people more. And the second thing, what they would say is books and tapes. Now, today, I would simply change it to we have learned to earn. And this one ties hand in hand with what I was speaking about with to learn to master the craft. If you don't learn about the business, how can you earn? How can you serve your organization and so on? So this is basically keeping up the skills in your organization So this is no longer maybe books and tapes, but it is learning about the business. Okay? Learning about how the compensation plan works. Learning about why do we need to learn how the compensation plan works? Because otherwise you can't measure our business. Correct? If I don't know how the compensation plan works and it's my vehicle to achieve what I want to have, how can I set a goal? It's impossible. So I need to know how the business works in order to earn. I need to know how to behave as a leader. I need to know how to, present things. I need to know how to work, because otherwise I can't earn. So learn to earn and strive for excellence, in my opinion, are the most important. And then the tickets will measure your business. Now, I'm going to share again, so I don't need to draw too much. Do you guys see this? Okay. A system to work with. I'm going to explain my system, how I always worked, and why it looks like a pipeline. I call it a pipeline. Now, you do not need to draw it like this for anybody. This is an example. You may have it from up to down, Frankie has that, way to explain it. But I love this way of explaining it, because if you follow the system and you have a plan, guys, you have results. If you don't have results, there are no presentations. It's very simple, because it's all about how many times in a day is a story being told. And now it goes back to the planning then. So how do we work and why? Because it's faster application. Okay. So if you're looking at a client comes in, to the pipeline, call it what you want. I call that a first look. Okay. It is for me to have, I'm going to explain that very soon also, how do you work to go through this pipeline? Because in my opinion, it's very important. Wait, I'm going to change the board to the other side. For the simple reason that I need to draw for you to understand. Now, my question to you is the following. How do you work? In my opinion, a leader always goes first. So our job is to have our prospect, our client, to walk hand in hand through the system with the client. Okay? And let the system work for us. And as I mentioned before, you are not the person that presents the business for your friend. Why? Because it doesn't work. There are reasons for it. I'm going to speak about the triangle. Okay? How we work. You always have somebody else to present. I will stop sharing in between and explain it better on the board. Okay? So if you have the pipeline here, we have the first look. We have the second look. I'm going to explain it very, very detailed for you. What did I call it? I called it, okay, I put the business presentation. You can call it what you want, opportunity presentation, whatever. Business planning session. What we have right now is a business planning session, but it is really, really detailed what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going through for the first session about, more personal development and how the brain works and stuff, going through what I believe you need to do in order to change behavior, going through all of these things. But in business planning sessions, that needs to be, in my opinion, monthly. And they should be live, locally. They can be on a webinar, but it works best to have them live locally, because you get people involved to actually practice things. So first look, what is that? First of all, we need a 100 list. And I'm going to explain why. Simply, so we have a tool, a foundation. Who are we in the next 90 days going to present the business for? Okay? And it used to be a 100 list. I disagree, because I don't gamble with business. I prefer a 270 list. Why? Because 270 list equals 3 times 90 days in the first block, which is 270 names. Correct? So what is the job of a new person? The job of a new person isn't doing this job. It is following you when you show them how the job is done. So this list is of any person that people would know, okay? We do not pre-qualify people if they like to, offset plastic or not. How can you know what your friend wants? Or the person in the corner? And you need to have a very detailed list. I'm going to provide you with a detailed list afterwards. I'm going to send the one that I made with Anne, where you have the name of the person, okay? Name. You start filling it out, an Excel sheet actually. Don't do it on paper, do it on the computer. Name, how to contact. Is it phone number, email, Facebook, Line, WhatsApp, LinkedIn? How do you contact the person? You need to have the same here. First look, okay? When is this going to happen? And that means that you need to know how and what to say to people on the list. So what do I say to a new person? Personally, I'm giving a lot of examples. Personally, I work with a 3-step rule. 1, problem. 2, solution. 3, what about you? Is there a problem in the world about plastic? Waste plastic? Yes, okay. What if there were a solution? Would you be interested to at least offset your own plastic pollution? Oh, there is actually a technology. I'm working with a new concept, that is revolutionary. And they have a solution of actually where you can participate in it. Okay? And on top of saving and making the planet a better place to live on, you can actually make some money. And you know what? I'm working with a professional that have committed to work with me. Please, now you can get, this is practice again. Oh, is it network marketing? Then you need to know how to help that person what to say. So you can call even and contact together with that person. The only thing that person going to do is get that person to look at a first look of what is it? A presentation, a webinar, okay? A one-to-one meeting, but now it is never one-to-one meeting. Why? Because it works in the following way. Here is you. Here is the prospect or the client, your friend. Here is your sponsor. Okay? Why? For the simple reason that you can use that as a new person to get the person to sit down. You say, oh, his or her time is very valuable. He or she have agreed to work with me. I have committed to do what it takes. And you know what? This person makes already a lot of money. This person is very knowledgeable. And don't do the mistake I did. I didn't listen first. And then somebody explained it to me again, and I realized I was wrong. It works. I realized that no, it's not a pyramid. I realized, bam, 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 bam. So it's all about training, and here you help as a sponsor. If you are the sponsor, you help the new person. You present to the prospect. The new person that had booked from the list, the meeting, should know how to react. He or she does not play on the phone when it's happening, doesn't walk away, sits next to the prospect, preferably. Absolutely best if they can be in the same location if you have a Zoom call. Why? Because can support them, make sure that they sit on the call, okay? But also, because the person, the new one, if you are the new one and you have a sponsor here, you need to have the attitude of being interested. Your sponsor will present the business, which means that the client, the prospect, will listen better. Out of respect, maybe, they don't know the person. But the most important thing is that you can duplicate it for even new people. And that is the thing with the 90-day plan and the 1 to 4 learning curve. And that is the beautiful thing, because when you do this and you go through the 270 list, how many is the lowest average, guys? 10%. How many people have been enrolled minimum? 27, correct? Is that a good start in the first 3 months? It is a good start. Maybe it doesn't go good from the beginning, but you know that the person is in time. And you can say that once we came through this list, you will have. I even tell the people, book up some people first that you don't want in your business. Be happy if they say no. So, you know, make them understand that it is not the thing for us that we're going to present the business and convince people to get involved. No, it's not. Because that is what scares people many times. Oh, do I need to convince my people, you know, and you know, get them into something? No. A business presentation is simply presenting the facts, presenting the opportunity, solution, and finding out, is that something that the person, based on facts, is prepared to be involved in. So now the business becomes very, very simple when we break it down. Yes, we get them to the table, we do a presentation. I'm coming back to that with how we duplicate, why it is 90 days. Okay? Some people fall out. They say, no, it's not for me, correct? It's normal. Some people say, oh yeah, cool. This is something for me. And some people say, what? I need to think. Okay? I wanna see more. And even if they say that, or if they start directly, here comes techniques and skills in also, because if you have the skills, you get everybody to sign up. Except for the ones that say, no thanks, it's not for me. I don't want to even, you know, take care of my own plastic pollution. Bye. Okay, fine. But the other ones you sign up, and now because you have it on a list, you know, when did they get the first look? What did they say? What was the agreed thing? And you can guide them to the second look, a follow-up, which needs to be within the 48 hours after the first look, always. Why? It goes back to the thing you learned before. Excitement, no skills. If they fall under here, it's rest in peace. Skills needs to come up within 48 hours. And you know what? If somebody says, and when somebody says, I need to think about it, and even if they say, yes, let's start and buy a package, always ask, are you alone, staying alone, or do you have a wife or a husband? Always. Because you know what? That person gonna go home. And that person gonna be very excited if they are excited about the business, and they're gonna try to explain it themselves. Whatever you say to them, don't explain, don't explain. They are so excited, so they start explaining to every person that comes in front of them. If it's the wife or the husband, you know, kills them. Again, they call a friend and try to get back up. Offer to present it together. Okay? Present it together for the wife or for the husband. And yes, you have a risk that the wife or the husband are not very excited about it, but at least you gave it a chance. Okay? Because if you're sending them home to be slaughtered, it may be done, even how excited they are. So always work to back up the people. That's what we are. We are sponsors, personal trainers, and our job is to take them forward. Latest on the second look, which is a follow-up, repetition, okay? Business presentation walkthrough. We go into commission. on it. Okay? How do you get paid? Specifically. On the first presentation, I never go into, you know, exactly how you get paid. Why? Because it's too much information. Some drop out, but here we need to come to a decision. It's called closing. And it is a simple question. Is it anything that you see that wouldn't make it possible for you to start right now? You say, no, you know, I can start. Okay, start. Register. Get a business license, and don't go into the discussion before registration and business license what kind of package. Okay, because it's not important yet. Step number 1, register. Become a follower. Okay? Step number 2, would you want to earn more money? If so, you will need a business license. Correct? Step number 3. So step number 1 to go through. Is this something that you think you could support? Follow and register. Okay? Step number 2. If they already are registered, would you like to make money? Question mark. Or is it fine by only supporting? Step number 3. Now we talk about package. Here I want to be very, very clear. Do never ever invest other people's money. Ever. Find out what the pain barrier is. There is a question, they always say, well, but what kind of package? My question is always then to the person, how do you see yourself in this business? How do you see yourself in the 90 days in the business? Do you want a big business or a small business? If the person is going to do it on the side a little bit, okay, small business. I recommend a bronze or a silver. If you really want to just, you know, consider, you know, it and test it out a bit, okay, a starter. It's 265 euros. Okay? But we need to know we can't invest people's money. I'm not talking investment, even if it is not per se an investment, because it is an investment into their business. Okay? It is not an investment to make return on investment. It is an investment into their business. Okay? And if they say, I want a big business, then I say, yeah, these are the packages. You start from 9,000 with the biggest business. It gives you everything you need to succeed. 5 generations even of uni level. And I show them, look at this. If you get one person of the 270 that does something, one, when we strategically do it, 5 generations, if that person gets even one, sooner or later with customers and so on, you will earn back money. Correct? If you get 2, this is how it looks. If you get 3 and we duplicate it, this is how it looks. If you get 4. So remember that 900 euro might be as much for a person that you 9,000. Okay? It should be hurting a bit to get people moving, but it shouldn't kill their, you know, their family with no rent money or no food money. I don't think I need to mention it again. So invest with the brain together with the people. Invest into their business with finding out what can they afford currently. Make the 90-day plan. Now, forward business presentation. This would be a webinar with a startup training. This could be a webinar even, second look. Okay? First look can't be a webinar. They need to have some kind of, you know, of basics before they go into a webinar. At least, what is it that we do? Okay, we offset plastic and blah, blah, blah. This could be a webinar. This business planning session is a webinar and a startup training. What is a startup training? This is what we're going through here. It is about what do they want to do? Register my package. It's about how do we work. It is about you need to write your foundation of your business is the list. The bigger the list, the more sure we can be that your business will work. And I always ask the person, do you want to gamble with your business or do you want to be 100% sure that you're going to succeed? Gamble, 100%. Gamble, 100%. I started up Anek, you know, last week, and the day before, you know, when he made the decision, I sent him home to do the 100 list. And I must say, I'm already 100% sure that the guy will succeed. You know why? He came back with 337 names. Okay? Next day, and I know it was late when he left, he could have went to bed, come up with excuses when we met the next day and said, oh, I didn't get it done because. No. He came back with 337 names and asked me, is this enough? And I just looked at it and said, you know, Anek, in my 19 years and plus in network marketing, this is the number one I see. The day after, ladies and gentlemen, then you know you have somebody that you need to take care of. Because that is the foundation that we feed in. That is the foundation that we duplicate. When we get his first prospect, if this is Anek, okay, this is me as a sponsor, his first prospect, he's able to show, yeah, this is how I did it, you know, this makes sense, you know, and it's mathematics, and you know, it's a good course and I can make money. Now, business planning, why? Business presentation, why? To see the whole picture, to see it presented by a professional. Because maybe the sponsor is yet not the person that does the webinars. Business planning sessions. How do I work my business? Skills. Skills, 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 skills. The better skills your organization and you have, obviously, the more you can serve and give value to your organization. And here, ladies and gentlemen, event. I can never point out too much how important this is. If and when you are serious with your business. It is so important, and I claim that you cannot ever build a sustainable business without events. Because it has to do with also the socializing, okay? It has to do with people actually traveling from their home away. It has to do with the experience. It has to do with seeing other people like you and seeing people that already are successful, okay? I call it to see the full movie, to see the big picture. I know myself, I decided I had a very, very stubborn, you know, person dragging me, and that is what you do. You here, after you, hand in hand, you are the one that runs through this with the new people. Okay? You make sure, hand in hand, that the person gets dragged through, and you do not accept bullshit because you have agreed on to do. And remember the key now here, people will always take the easiest way out. And thanks to that small rule, even if I quit in the first 2 weeks in my business, probably 20 times myself, I had a sponsor that understand that principle and told me, no, Stefan, no, we have 4 people here, second look maybe, at somebody's place that have prepared the presentation for you and they're waiting for you. So he didn't give me the option to bail out. He said, you come here, and if you afterwards still don't want to do the business, fine, but show up. So I took the easy way out, and thanks to that, he kept me moving forward. And within 3 weeks from getting presented to network marketing in August 21st, year 2000, I was sitting on an event in the back with a baseball cap low, looking to the spectacle, and I made up my mind to really do it. Why? Because I saw normal people with less skills than me that had become successful for many years sustainably, kindergarten teachers, truck drivers, you know, you name it, that changed their life and was living a life that I wanted to have with time freedom, okay, lifestyle. So I was sitting, and I wasn't sitting on any of these before and thinking that. No, when I went, I saw the whole movie. I made up my mind. So you need to give the opportunity for your people to see the full movie. It's our responsibility to make sure that they see the full movie. Okay? That's how I see it. It's my responsibility to tell you straight off, if you don't do the job, don't mind about it. Don't bother, because you're going to fail. But if you put in the 3 hours a day and you do it consistently, the probability for you succeeding by numbers is overwhelming. And I will show you that now. How do we work on this one now? We know that we're going to have a 360-day plan. And we know that you need to break it down. I'm going to get rid of, give me 2 minutes here. I'm going to clean the whiteboard. Okay, we're back. So when we make a plan, we know now, we know the system. You don't need to call it first look, second look, you know, business presentation event. That's totally up to you. What I'm telling you is you need a system. Okay? If you don't have one, feel free to use it. This is what I use. It works for me over 19 years. It's foolproof. By the numbers, you can't fail. So now I know then that I need to plan my business in 1 year. Holy moly, it's too wet moment. So I know that I need 1 year, correct? So I need a time axis. These pens are getting bad. Let's see. I need a time axis of the 360. So here is today. I'm going to assume that it's a new person. If this is not a new person, it's you. Your job is to set your goal and break down the business where you have people that you work with that makes up your goal. Does that make sense? If you want to make 10,000 euros a week or a month, you need to have people in your business that makes half, and they need to have people in the business that makes half, and here we have a compensation plan that we can look at. And you know what I do? I look at the uni level for the first 90 days. That's the startup, correct? Then I start looking at the infinity bonus and so and so. Matching is extra. That's how I look at the business. So if we have here now then the 28th of Feb 2021. Now, you need to plan with 4 events yearly. And we know that the corporate doesn't maybe have 4 events yearly, but local events, yes. So you need to have a plan to have an event around here. Let's say that it would be then, we have an event round upcoming, correct? Right now, so it's perfect. So we're looking at March here. Okay? February, March, next year, there needs to be events, and you need to break down your goals from that. So let's say that the person you're planning for has a goal of 10,000 euros. Okay? That person wants to make 10,000 euros on the side of the job that they're working. It's working 3 hours a day committed over 90 days times 4. Okay? That's how it works. Now, we know this. We know also that this is the 4th event, correct? 4th event round. We start breaking it down. The event before, which is the 3rd, what I work with, because I work with the tickets I told you. Okay, I'm going to show that one after. What do you really need? But the principle is very simple. if I'm going to make 10,000 euros, what kind of turnover do I need in our compensation plan to make 2,500 euros weekly? Do you know that? I can tell you that you can count currently with between a new business is much higher, but count somewhere around 5% with a big business of the turnover. Then you don't need to count even unilevel because the infinity will kick it in, okay? And some magic and so on. So if you start counting with that 5%, you know, what kind of turnover would you need to have here? And then you can start breaking it down backwards. So if I have now, then I know that the average purchase in our business is actually 1,800 euro. I know because it is the average purchase. I don't know if you know that. The average purchase over time, not the first purchase. Don't do the mistake of thinking first purchase. The average person qualification of all the active people is 1,800. So people maybe start on a 265. They buy a bigger pack on top. Do you follow me? But I can use that because it's a numbers game to measure my business and to build my business. So if I know that, how many people need to sit on the event? Okay, if I know that I'm going to make 10,000 and I know that that means that 5%, then I'm sure maybe it's more if I build it wide, if I build it correct, if I have reoccurring purchases because merchants already do their job. But let's count low what we have today. I know that you will make a minimum of 5%, okay, when you build. And that's pretty good already, but that's a minimum. So that means if 10,000 euros, what is the business need to turn over in a month to make 10,000 euros if you get paid 5%? 20 times, correct? Is that correct? Yeah? This equals, if it's 5%, 200K, correct? 200,000 euros. Turnover in this period of time on the 13th month. Are you following me? So because I know my vehicle, which is Ampliable, because I know the compensation plan, because I know the lowest average, and because I know how to work, I can start breaking down until today and the first 90-day plan for the person. So if I'm looking at 200K, the average purchase is 1,800. Okay, how many people is buying on this month? Do you follow my logics? So if I have 1,800, almost 2,000, okay, 2,000 times 10 is 20,000, 100. Okay, so that means that I would need to count with the lowest average. I only counted the people working because I know it's the people working that makes the turnover, correct? Do you follow me? So now I know that if I want to be really, really sure, if I have here sitting on this event 100 people, 100 times 2,000 is 200,000, correct? That means that there are people that works and should be creating at least personally by their involvement. And this is now so low, it's probably much bigger, guys. But I prefer to make goals that I know that the person will reach. Do you think that person is sad if they reach 20,000 or 50,000? No. But do you think that person is sad if they reach 1,000? Yes, because they have failed. We make sure with our planning that our prospects, our clients, our people never can fail if they do the job. Okay? Then it becomes mathematics and it becomes a very simple business. Just do it. Okay? Does it make sense, guys? Make sense? Okay? So now, 100 is sitting on my event in 1 year. If you work with event tickets in a very, very good way, you know how you should work. Obviously, you are on an event and you bring with you two always. Two new people always. Every 3 months, you make sure that you personally, with what you work, bring 2 new people. You know why? Because with that, you have a very simple job to do on the event. Because you have 2 questions to ask. Only 2 questions to ask the new person that's never been on an event before. And that is the following question. Hi, how do you like it? Isn't it awesome? And they're going to say, yeah, it's awesome. Hey, do you think it would have been good if you would have had 2 of your with you? Frontlines to work with the next 3 months? You know what they're going to say? Yeah. Okay, here you go. Here is a ticket for you. And here is a ticket for your guests for the next one. It's very easy to get people to commit to something when they are excited. Okay? And we are not really killing them. We are making sure that they have tickets and seats for their 2 minimum that we're going to find for them in 90 days by doing what? Going through 270 names. Guys, it's simple to do that. So now comes the next question that I'm going to tell you. Do you think that it is possible to, in 90 days, in 3 months, double your business? To grow it with double? That means that a new person brings 1 new. Is that possible in 90 days? Yes or no? Is possible? Because that means that this is the 4th event, guys. This is the 3rd. That means that half the turnover needs to be here. I think you start following my logics in it. That means that with the average purchase of 2,800, okay, we need to have, that means a third, half, that means that we need a turnover of 100K, and we're going to have 5,000 in earnings this block of time, and we're going to need 50 people, correct? What happens then 3 months before? Now we're getting speed. Second, same average. We're going to do 50K. What is 50K turnover in a month? I'm actually counting in a month now and not in 3 months, like what it can be. So you get me. It is very simple to break down the business. It is a 2-star. Is that correct? It's 50,000. You are what? A 2-star. So now in order, the person is going to need to be what? A 2-star. In 6 months from now. You guys on this call is a 1-star. Is it possible to maybe become a 2-star in 6 months? Oh yeah, I have Heli there that became, what is it, 3-star within the first 2 months or something. Or was it even faster? So, and here it's important to tell the story that, hey, you see this person, you see that person. They became it in this time of period of time. And then you're speaking, what did they do? And they will back up what you say. So you'll be able to tell always the truth and what it takes. Now, first, 1,800. You're going to do 25K. And how many people? It was 25 here, correct? Here is going to be, let's say, 13 then. Do you see my point? For you to reach in 3 months from now, from 270 presentations, you're going to make sure to pull through the pipeline 13 people. Does that make sense? So if you know that only 10% sits on the event, okay, because this is not counted even with that. This is counted with the whole turnover, correct? I was fooling you a bit. 200,000 turnover, okay? That is the total amount of people that came into the business that month. That is usually 10 people working only. And that is usually 10 people sitting. But always plan above, okay? Always make sure to set a higher workload than where you're going to reach. Why? Because you have a happy-go-lucky, then you know, frontline. You have a happy-go-lucky organization that knows that they follow Heli, they follow Katja, they follow Fred, they follow John, they follow Andrea, they follow Cindy, Frederick, Dennis, whoever they are following, they know that that person knows how to plan a business. That person knows what it takes. That person knows that if you put in the job and he or she gonna help and be there and support, and you know that you're in a safe harbor, even in a stormy sea. They know, your team know that you know what you're doing and leading them. So if you're looking at now, then okay, If you're 1 star today, okay, do you think that you can get 13 people sitting on an event with cross-sponsoring even? Placement sponsoring? I mean, it's pretty simple. So use the tools that we have. Because no longer do you need to travel to all the locations in Europe. But you should make sure that on every of these single events that we have, you personally or you and your organization have somebody sitting on that event. And don't think in the way that that person needs to remain in the organization. Sign them up there, placement sponsor them in to the best local leader. And you know, guys, 19 years, soon 20 in this business, with placement sponsoring, I would take away the awesome compensation plan even, and I would work with a one-liner even, and it would be successful. I mean, one-line frontline bonus. It is so sick, the placement sponsoring. When you guys learn to work with that one, I mean, it will go fast. Because when you work together and you know who's the best person in what area and so on. And I recommend in the group that you have a chat group, you know. Okay? Make a plan. Make a page in Facebook together and start mapping out who are the best leaders there. Because you know what? Your business will explode. Your business will explode when you know exactly who to place under in what certain area. But make sure before you place it that you ask, because maybe they have too many front lines and want to place it 1 step lower in 2nd line, or in 3rd line, or in 4th line, or in 5th line. Okay? Because nobody, in my opinion, should work with 1,000 people at the same time. Yes, sponsor 1,000 people as a personal sponsor, but place them. Okay? Because that is truly a we mentality. And that is why I'm so proud of the placement sponsoring, guys, because it really emphasizes the whole we is the key. Okay? It really emphasizes it. Because we have one organization that works with us, together with us, for you, with you. Okay? And the better you behave, the more you learn to earn, to be able to serve, the more people will look at you and hand you new people, new people, new people. And when you work in a system, and you know exactly how to plan the business with them, you know how to start them up. Guys, I am very excited. I am so excited to see what we will create the next 3 months. Okay? Because I realized when Saleh came to me that maybe you that listens now to this call, this is nothing new for you. It's also nothing new for me. But I get also excited about repetition. In every time when I'm listening now to what I said, then I maybe cut something and post it for you guys. Maybe I learned something new. Okay? And that is what for me is so exciting with the life of network marketing and life of personal development, that we can continuously just keep on evolving. Okay? To become a little bit just better. A little bit just better. A little bit closer to excellence in what we do. And for us, personal mentors of, you know, the new people, or personal coaches of success, I mean, isn't that what it's all about? To help people to actually be able to give forward keys to success, keys to a better future for the globe, and keys for a paradigm shift also as they see it. Because most people would dream about 10,000 euros monthly. They would dream about it. If you speak with 100 people, it's not many people that earns 10,000 euros extra money on a monthly basis. And this person is not yet full time. What happens to the next event? It's minimum 20, correct? It's minimum 40. It's minimum 80. It's minimum 160. It's minimum 300 and whatever. Guys, this compensation plan doesn't have a cap. Do you realize that? So my question for you today is, this is a 1-year goal, but if you are putting your goal to 1 year on 10,000, and you know that 4 times more in the next 2 years from today. 8 events away, 8 blocks of 90. If this was 10,000, it will be when you continue to inspect what you expect. And we're coming back to that. If you do not have turnover, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? There are no presentations being done. Okay? This is a numbers business. Your result is directly in association with your actions. Okay? Because of the application. And that is the last thing I'm going to speak about. I'll let you suck on this with 20,000, 40,000, 80,000, and yes, 160,000 and increasing 2 years from now. Now, what are the rules of the game with SOSIM, with Amplivo, with the tokens and so on? Am I correct when I'm saying 5 years plus 2, 7? Okay? What is your business in 7 years from now if you put the right foundation into it? If you put in the time to become a master of excellence, become the best of whoever you can be. It's not about being the best of everybody. It's the best of who you can be. Okay? Just strive for excellence for who you are. I don't measure myself with anybody. I measure myself with myself. Who was I 3 months ago, and who do I want to be 3 months from now in the future? Because honestly, it doesn't matter who other people are. If it is somebody that is better than me to do my job, I'd be happy to step to the side and follow. Okay? Because that is what it's all about. It's all about that. Why the 90-day? It is a very simple thing. I hope that you know how this works. How do we get the 13 sitting on the event? It's very simple. Put a names list to work. Never work with a person without a names list, and start duplicating. And this is the last thing I'm going to tell today. Next Saturday, there will be a follow-up call, which is the last of these 3 sessions that I put together for you guys, which is a little bit, yeah, it's about the same 1.5 hours. This one is a little bit more. It's 2 hours again, unfortunately. You guys have to suffer with me, and I'm very proud to see 53 people still on this call. So you should give yourself a big applause, because that is what it takes, guys. It takes to do things today what other people don't want to do, but also to achieve, to be able to do what they can't. Okay? Why is it 90 days? It is very simple, and this is something that I got never told. This is something that nobody told me ever. Everybody was babbling away about the 90-day plan. But I realized why. It has to do with changing habits. So 90 days actually is 3 times 30. And there are studies even, you know, that says that if you cut away your arm, you will still believe that you have a arm at least 3 weeks from now. Okay? It has to do with the cells changing and the neurons in your body, and you know, and the nerves and everything rewiring themselves in the brain. Okay, this becomes almost quantum physics, but that is how it is. A habit takes at least 20 days to change. Okay, if you are a master of anchoring and NLP and things, maybe, just maybe, you could do it faster. If you're not a master, more. And it comes from repetition and emotional involvement. Okay, the only way to get from the 1 to the 4 in the learning curve. Okay, repetition, repetition, and emotional involvement. So the first 30 days, when you work with a new person, which is 90 presentations, that is the first, you make sure to teach how to present. You sit and present for the person. The first at least 30 presentations. Then you teach them how to present. So first, how to present. Second, teach how they teach somebody to present. Okay, that's step number 2. So first, teach how to present the business, how to tell the story. You do it, they listen. Now you get a phone call, for an example. Hey, I just presented for them what it is about. Can you show how you get paid? Okay, you don't have a call maybe, but you listen to them, what they do, you come back and correct. So they get over the fear of doing things. You don't have them present things that they can't do. Always what they can do, you know they can do it, but they don't want to do it. So you get them to the point. 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, you come to the point you teach somebody how to teach somebody to present. And everybody has to work in these three that I showed you already. You, the sponsor of you, and the prospect. So if you follow that one in 30 times 3, you come to after 90 days where you are out. You duplicated yourself out. Because they are all, the next step is that the one you started up here will duplicate themselves out. First, you teach how to present the business. Then how to teach to present the business. Then to teach how to teach to present the business. And sayonara. Okay? Duplication achieved. You are deeper than 3 levels. You are on your 4th level in your uni level. It is just simple tricks, guys. So this is all for today. And we're going to have a small repetition. I'm going to share my screen again. This is why I want to now show you that system with a plan to follow and using it brings results. And why do you work in a system? Faster duplication. Okay? It is slower in the beginning because if you lift up your phone and you call everybody you know, of course it's faster. But this is not about being able what you do yourself only in network marketing. It is to do things that can be duplicated. And that we spoke about already here. Never, ever forget that everything duplicates. Never do the business presentation for your own prospects. Only do what a beginner can learn in the shortest time possible. Tell the story. Okay? Stories sells and are easy to remember. Okay? All about that. Last but not least, I want to show this circle, and we're going to speak a lot about this next time. We're going to speak a lot about how you can feed, and how you can change your habits, and how you can make sure that you track your business in the best way, and how you can motivate yourself. Okay? And we're going to do a wrap up of the first and the second session. So it's very important that you have a listen then to the first and the second, and take time, listen 15 minutes at a time, take notes, put it to the side. And if it's nothing in the 15 minutes, just remember, there's nothing in it. Okay. Take the key elements from the first session and the session, and make sure that you are up to date with it for the third session. Then it will be the best third session ever. So I hope that you got out something from it tonight. I certainly got. Always when I do something, lectures or whatever it is, it's something that, it just comes. And for me, these sessions are so important for me also to, fresh up. Okay, I got a few ideas I'm going to implement now the next weeks that comes myself. And remember that comfort zone, what we feel that is comfortable, that's who we are. That is a pattern how we react. So if we want to grow, we need to put things as goals that makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. We need to be able to solve the before solutions, the problems, to become a problem solver for our organization. And I truly believe that that is where success lies. And the more problems we solve, the more before solutions, the better we become at it, better leadership, more strong, and more round as leaders. So that's all for me from tonight. This is Saturday here now, 9:41. I'm going to continue in a few calls, and then I'm going to go home and see my family. I hope you have a fantastic evening in Europe or South America or wherever you are. And I will see you very soon on the road, guys. Let's kick some ass. Let's lift Amplivo. Let's lift Ecovo. And tomorrow almost, I can promise you the business presentation. I will do a recording And then we'll send it out to you latest on Monday, like Frank said, but it's only a few tweaks now, and that one will be done. So, good evening. And out from here, I will cut this video, put it up on YouTube, hidden, and you can share it, listen to it yourself with 1 star and above. Thank you from me, and good night.